back, everyone. Another episode of Bet Legendz. Today we have our guest, Sports Data Now. Super exciting to talk about these guys. They do a lot of analytical work. So welcome, guys.
Thanks, Bo. Thanks for having us, Bo and Kyle. Sports Data Now is essentially just a young startup trying to give sports bettors, sports cappers out there an outlet to grow their brand. We found that social media is pretty flooded, and it's hard to differentiate the guys that are legit and doing well, and the guys that are scamming and really not in it for the reason that we all are. So my name's Andrew. Specifically, I founded Sports Data Now about a year ago. It was just myself, and then kind of brought on my team members, some of which are here tonight, and kind of developed over time, and we're looking forward to the conversation tonight.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? I'm Zach. I've been working with Andrew now for it's been over half a year now, at least. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's been some time. I've been working on the coding side of things, and I was a data science major, so love doing all the data analytics and trying to put a technical spin to everything.
And I'm Justin. I'm full stack developer on the team, and I was kind of, brought on third, if we're going in order, to try and get the first version of the service deployed and beyond. So
I'm Matt. I'm actually a junior at Penn State. I was brought on as an intern last April with SDN. I was their digital media intern, and now I've been promoted to their digital media manager.
I think we've all been in touch probably a lot on Instagram. You're doing those leaderboards, it seems like every week. This betting community in general has just become so big, and you guys have been a big part of kind of keeping that all together. You see some of those stats you guys are putting out. It looks like you guys do a ton of analytical research and things like that. So I just want to dig your brain on that and kind of see how you guys piece it all together, what your kind of long-term plan is, and where you just kind of see the betting industry right now, and where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's a loaded question because it's it's really new, which is cool about this space. I've been doing fantasy sports and sports betting, ever since high school and college and all that. Some off the books, some on the books, and essentially kind of just had a few friends who made their own algorithms along the way, and I believe Zach did his own thing before we even met. And I had a friend that was hitting at a 63% rate for a long time, and he was doing pretty much just social media work, just trying to get on Instagram and Twitter and grow his brand, just like you guys are, and a lot of people are out there. Eventually made his own website and all, and honestly, he just found it pretty impossible to get his name out there in a lot of ways. And it's a good thing that the industry is so large and so growing, but at the same time, it's definitely creates a need in this industry to like we talked about before, kind of have that transparency. So it's kind of wild to me that New York just got legalized, in January and all that. And I think 30 or 31 states now out of 50 are legalized. So it's still incredibly young, and there's still a lot of even just small startups in the space that I've met that haven't even you'd think they'd be established by now, but they're really not. So it's kind of a cool place to be for all of us.
Or you guys, where did this kind of all start? Was it pretty much just your idea from the get-go, and you're still just trying to build it up? It seems like you guys all pretty much know each other pretty well. I'm sure you guys are all friends outside of this. Where did this all start, and kind of what's your end goal with it all?
Oh yeah, I guess so. I'd always been interested in doing trying to apply algorithms and stuff with all this sports data to somehow find an edge or beat Vegas. And it was cool when I was doing initial research. I met this one kid who wrote this really specific algorithm. It was for empty net goals in hockey, and it was, I guess you could describe it like a black swan event in the stock market, where very rare thing that happens, but it's high odds. So he was able to get it to where it was 51 or 52% accurate on when there would be an empty net goal. But since it was a plus 500, plus 600 bet, he ended up making a decent bit of money. And then that's kind of, Andrew and I both went to Penn State, so we ended up meeting up and kind of talking. And there was just, I remember going through TikTok and you'd see like these kids talking about like these advanced algorithms they made, and it was like a linear regression model or something, and that was like it to predict on bets. And we're like, wow, there's like a lot of data out here, and there is a lot of like just different types of players, like whether they're legit or not. But there's ways to kind of get a competitive edge and use like data and use analytics to kind of do predictions. So that's when we kind of met up, we're trying to build this kind of betting tool, where there's so much manual research. Like that kid who had built that one algorithm, he used to input every single night's like games into a spreadsheet every single night, like tracking it, not coding anything, like making like a scrape or anything. He just had the algorithm down. So we're like, there's all these like super stat heavy, data heavy people who are interested in these sports, but there is a massive hurdle of like aggregating this data and getting it together and actually like being able to do anything useful with it. So that's where we kind of came together and like been trying to work on almost like that data transparency and like making it easy for anybody to use. And instead, like we were talking player props in the Super Bowl, and I was like, look, and Cooper Kupp's was like over 108 yards. So we're like going through trying to figure out how many times he's actually done that, where in reality, we have data feeds that can just summarize that really quick for us. So kind of creating this sort of tool that makes all this analytics just very easy to use and easily digestible, and just kind of take all that like weird algorithmic jargon out of it.
A lot of that is crazy to me. That to me seems kind of like the future of where this is going. I'm sure you guys probably feel the same. I'm not sure what the books probably think of all this going on behind the scenes, but it's smart what you guys are doing. And it's, like you said, if the guy's making 50% on plus 600, plus 500 bets, that's good money. And that's profitable in the long run if you really stick to it. I don't know if any of you guys want to chip in on that, but to me, that's like the future of this, it seems like, and you guys are on the right track.
Vegas is trying to do their own stats now. I just think they realize, like, let's just add a stats page on DraftKings and see if people can draw any conclusions there that can then, probably trick them to make Vegas more money. But so how much can you really trust their books and the props that they're throwing at you to bet?
Yeah, I took a recommended prop the other night, and it had like it was a Warriors bet. Kevin Looney over 7 rebounds was like that one bet in there that they just knew was going to throw off their whole parlay. And it was like, should not have ever trusted it. But it is interesting because Vegas, how they make their lines and make their bets always kind of changes. So I'm sure you're familiar with like sharps. They will be very manipulative they'll know what the sharp percentage is at, and they can adjust lines in favor of the sharps, or sometimes they'll adjust it the opposite way to get money to feed in and just take advantage of the public. So it's like they always kind of have like those mind games somewhat there. So it's how can we use like those sharp percentages and that public available data and really make it like a easy to understand, easy to use kind of data point to make a better educated bet.
Like Kyle said, it's to think obviously we know there's algorithms and there's math behind this, but it's just so complex, and obviously getting to the point of above 50% on these bets is just impressive. You're walking away with money every time. And I wanted to ask you guys, were you guys betting before this? Were you guys struggling before you really came into using to your favor?
I've always bet just for fun and with friends. Like it's never been something I've been very good at necessarily. Like I've always tried to like add that technical spin to it, but I've never really like built or like figured out my own like successful kind of route with it. But what I have noticed is if you do take it very seriously and so I'll just be watching a game and I'm like, oh shit, like I want to throw on it. This will be fun. But if you do take it seriously and you really we're really big, my friends are into UFC. And if we just lined up straight the UFC bets you picked, we could definitely be 70 or not 70%, but like over the 55% profitable if you can kind of just focus on that. And I think like what we're talking about is like finding those real cappers out there, those people who really know their stuff and being able to really follow them, I think there is a very big advantage there, because there is a lot of people who really know what they're doing and have that competitive edge, but it almost gets lost in the sea of just random scammers and just random people out there. Like my one friend, I remember he tried to make like a betting Twitter and missed his first 4 bets he posted out. So he just deleted them and started again the next day. And it's like that sea of people who aren't really good at it are kind of fogging up everybody who is good at it and who to actually like follow. And I think that's where you can really you can take something that is very fun to do and take it to another level and actually make some money off of it.
Yeah. And I think it's a good point. I'd love to hear from you guys, just, on the marketing side of it, what you guys are doing on Instagram and everywhere else. Like, as I mentioned before, those leaderboards you guys are putting together with, just seems like you guys are putting together cappers on Instagram that are just, real, giving out real picks. We're being transparent. What's kind of your goal with that? Are you just trying to, build the community more? Are you trying to show more transparency, trying to see who's the best out there and who has the best, picks and analysis behind their picks? We appreciate it because we're part of that too. And we appreciate you guys just doing that for us. So love to hear more about that.
I think definitely part of it is building like that trust between cappers. Because like we've seen there's like 2 guys in our leaderboards, Nolan Sportsbook and Maritime Sportsbook. They're actually like collaborating now to put out picks together. And I just think like just having that trust between each other is like a huge step, because obviously like everyone wants to beat Vegas. And I think if you can get like multiple people to help each other out, like that's possible.
No, definitely. And I think that's a major point, because I think overall the community is not very trustworthy, if you even want to call it a community. We have people that have been customers of ours before. Maybe they stop buying packages and they'll message us and say, oh, is this person legit? Is this person real? And, you look at their page and they're showing that they're hitting, over 85% all the time. They don't ever show the results. So, for you guys having that transparency in place, being able to show where people actually are, that builds trust. And obviously, promotion for others, it's promotion for you guys. So we really appreciate that.
We're kind of figuring out the space as we go along, right with you guys as well. And we quickly realized kind of the problem that you guys are mentioning. For me, going back to even your initial question, even how I got started betting, like I started betting for a while ago, but I'm never really sure where to start exactly. I just look at the big players and the big names, and a lot of times I feel like those are the bets that have the least value, or the ones that Vegas has a hand on the most. So kind of the purpose of the leaderboard in a different way and a different look is to give guys a starting place. And the leaderboard kind of started as a proof of concept for us that we put out on Instagram, see if guys like you were interested, and we're going to quickly take that to our website and have started to do that over the next month or so. And essentially just having a nice flow of picks from verified guys, verified records and all that to go and take it the distance and hopefully give you guys more clients, like that.
We spoke too, like on the manual research aspect of like so many of like finding data and stuff. One thing just like working on the back end here is we get all those free picks that come in, and then you almost see a consensus. You're like, oh shit, everybody here is taking Warriors -3 tonight. These guys all know their stuff. That's kind of looking like an obvious pick. So like to Andrew's point, it really does give you a good place to bet. We're starting to funnel in player prop bets, and I could not believe how many different player props there could be on just one game. It was insane. Like it filled up everything. Like we were like, oh Jesus, we need to find a new way to show this because there's just information overload. So it's like, you guys are the experts. You know the picks, and kind of getting that summary, giving people who are like we said, betting for some people is just fun. Having that starting point where they don't have to scroll through everything and find that consensus pick, I think it could lead to a lot more success and profitability among a lot of people, and easy access to all that insights.
So along those lines, and I know Bo mentioned it, it's kind of, it's still almost this newish industry in that regard, where pretty much anyone can make a page, post some pics on there and be like, I'm a capper, I know what I'm talking about. You have to hit a few and people will be like, oh, maybe I'll buy something from you. There's kind of this like weird, I think, middle ground where there's these big players in the game who are like, we have 20 unit whale plays and buy our special packages. How does that kind of incorporate with what you guys are doing? I know you guys put together these leaderboards. You guys are looking at probably a bunch of accounts online. Who do you take into account on who's trustworthy, who's not? Do you guys just have your own biases on that? Do you really look into stats, anything like that?
So our goal is to essentially, as soon as something goes live on your social media, for us to pick that up instantly. So and put that in our database so that when it goes live, even before the game, even before the bet hits or not hits, we have that tracked somewhere. So that's kind of how we create our transparency. And the biggest differentiator between Sports Data Now and kind of the competitors out there is that we're doing that automatically. We know you guys are one, posting on social media, two, maybe making the bet itself, three, tracking it in a spreadsheet somewhere else, and four, promoting it wherever the hell you can, right? We're trying to cut out a lot of those steps so you guys are really just posting on social media, and then you can kind of come to our site to check out maybe your historical list of bets. And then eventually our big focus is to, one, drive traffic to your profile and your pages, and then two, allow you to run your business through our site. So taking people away from kind of the third party, really informal payment services like Venmo, PayPal, Patreon, stuff like that, and really tailoring it towards the betting community, and syncing up all the tools that you guys really need to do that.
Yeah, almost like platformizing this up and giving you guys that admin dashboard feel where you can really manage everything in one place, really then be able to track and get your own insights and analytics, and then that could really easily repurpose into more advertising content for you. Kind of make it easy. So if you want to have different types of payment plans and subscriptions and stuff, making it so you don't have to have this big onboarding process to get in these new clients. We kind of have that platformized out and make it easy for everybody. And then it also that almost takes out the illegitimate players in the game. If they're not legit, we will be able to, you'll see it in their record displayed pretty quick. And also they won't really have it worthwhile to kind of go through all those hurdles to kind of get everything set up.
Yeah, I think that's game changing. I think that's the biggest part, at least from our end, is tracking, being able to prove that we track, being able to prove that we're legitimate. And you guys are kind of opening that door, being that middleman pretty much to say hey, you guys can put your stuff over here, we'll set it up for everyone. And, you're pretty much doing that hands free right now for everyone. It seems like, you just shot us a message on Instagram, and, we see ourselves on your page all the time and we love it. So we definitely appreciate it. Just in terms of betting and fantasy and everything in that, I think, we've talked about how it's still just somewhat new. And I think there's almost this stigma for people to get in, especially when pages are posting these crazy parlays that are, I bet $5 and won $100,000. And it's almost this weird marketing push where FanDuel, DraftKings, things like that are really trying to push people through. It's getting legalized in a bunch of states now. Do you guys have any thoughts, opinions on that? I know fantasy gambling has this kind of negative stigma to it, and not sure if that's ever going to go away, but how does that affect what you guys do? And, do you guys have any plans around that? Any thoughts?
Saw a stat, this was for the Super Bowl. There was 100 million people legally able to sports bet for the first time or something. It was just a massive number. And I think that number is just going to continue to go up. I think we're going to kind of get to a point here where you can go into stadiums and you can grab your betting slip right there. They're going to make it so it's right in front of you and make it as easy as possible, because Vegas, it's very advantageous for them. It's a very massive industry. They're making so much money that you always hear I've been joking with Andrew and Justin about this of the illegal bookies in college and stuff. They're making so much money off all these people. So I think there is that excitement with gambling. It's not it could have a bad stigma, but it's not going anywhere. And I think creating these tools and creating a more legitimate success story of saying, hey, these people are actually making money. They're verified. They're good. They know what they're talking about. There are people like that. It's just kind of hidden in that cloud of the fake, or of that stigma cloud, I guess we could say. So I think it's just I'm moving to New York shortly. It just got legalized there. Like there's just gonna it's the states are just gonna keep on falling. And I think it's just gonna become bigger and bigger. And plus, I don't know if you saw, like there's they have even more, like if you're not into sports, all the prop bets you can place. Like what color's the Gatorade gonna be? Like there's so many fun ways for people to just get into sports and do like little fun things like that, where I think they really can start making it accessible to everybody.
That's a great point, because a lot of people will still be interested in that. It's like, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl, but I don't know anything, but I can bet on how long the halftime performance is going to be. I can bet on the coin toss. I can bet if there might be a streaker, all those things that come into play. And I'm living in New York myself, and it's been huge. It just seems like every one of my friends has downloaded it, at least some form of a book. So it's definitely taken over, and it's definitely interesting to see, like we were talking about with the followers, a lot of people making these fake pages. They're buying followers. They've been around for about a week or two, and they expect this credibility, and they're posting as if it's credible, and a lot of people fall for that. Do you guys ever run into situations where you're warning people? Do people ever ask you about legitimacy? Is that something that you guys run into?
So I know legitimacy, I think it's definitely a problem with cappers nowadays. We've had like multiple people actually on our weekly post like saying like, oh, like I know this guy, seen this guy delete like his picks, like he's a fraud, like he's not actually like at a 60% win rate. I think that's definitely one thing that we like tried to kind of eliminate. Like I like record most of the picks every day, so I'll try to go to each page like 3 times a day and try to make sure like all their picks are there, they're uploading everything, they're not deleting it. I mean, if they are deleting it, like I won't really say anything, but like we will have it recorded, so that way like if they did go like 0-4 on that one post, like everyone can see that like they did go 0-4, like they're not actually like, I guess, 4 losses less than what they say they are.
And has anyone ever like commented about that to you guys? Maybe like a capper approaching you guys about a situation like that?
So we have had cappers DM us about other cappers. I won't say who it is, but they have like kind of like expressed like concern about it. But yeah, I did like assure them that like we do check everything multiple times a day. Like what we post is accurate. I can't like promise you that what they're posting is accurate, but like we do try our best to make sure that like we're 100% accurate on what we post.
Give you so much credit, man. That's awesome. We appreciate you doing that. There's a ton of pages out there. We're interacting with so many people all the time, and it's so easy to go in and delete a post if maybe you go like 0-5 on the day. It's like, well, delete that. So give you a lot of credit for going in there and checking those things. While we kind of just have you guys, I mean, I'm sure you guys you've all mentioned it, like fantasy sports, betting. I'm sure you guys have all done it to some regard. Do you have any like crazy stories, anything with like some crazy hits, any bad losses, anything like just out of the ordinary, if any of you guys have anything?
The best bet I've ever placed was in cricket. My one friend, he texted me, he's Indian, and he's like, India's playing cricket right now, and they're plus 2,000, and I was like, he's like, bet on it, and I was like, why would they're plus 2,000, like that means they're gonna lose, they're screwed, no way to bet on it. He's like, no, cricket's a 4-day event, you're gonna be fine, like they should never be favored like that. My biggest regret, I only put $5 on it. I got like 5 to win a couple hundred. I was like, oh my God, if I only put more. So yeah, cricket is a good sport to bet on. I'd like to get some cricket analytics here pretty soon.
I think my biggest success story is I'm sure you guys see it on like BR betting. They'll post like the first bucket parlays. As like someone who just started betting, I'm like, oh, like this is great, like so easy. You just pick random guy, you're gonna win a lot of money. I actually put $20 on Jaylen Brown and Evan Mobley to get first buckets to win $1,000, and then I did like a multiple times since, lost everything. Like, so I mean, obviously it's like a long shot. It's never happening again, but it was like my first time doing it, and of course, lose everything after that.
That feeling must be unreal, though. You must have been like so pumped after that. Both you guys. I mean, winning that much money and just being like, holy shit, I can probably do it again, which usually never happens, but. How about Andrew, Justin? You guys got anything?
I haven't had anything absolutely wild. I mean, my friends will bet on the English Premier League a lot, which I don't know that well, but really want to get into. And there's some just random ass teams they'll bet on, and every now and then I'll string like a parlay of 3 teams in Africa that I have no idea that are just underdogs for the hell of it, just to watch soccer and give me some entertainment throughout the day. So I'll do that, but one of the times those bets hit, like kind of a $20 bet to win 400 off the bat right there, just for like 3 random ass African soccer teams in whatever league it was. I don't know. There's a million soccer leagues out there. But to your point, like I a while ago put something out on Reddit, I think asking for like fantasy football bad beats, and like I got like I think 200, 300 comments of just people like willing to share their story and like putting bad beats out there. And people get frustrated, but they love it too, and it's a way to kind of like connect with friends and shit talk with them and keep that going. So it's a fun space.
This is a dumb one. So my friend, we were looking through the Super Bowl props, and there was a prop that said if there would be an octopus.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, so we like literally went in like looking, seeing how much we could bet on it, if we could buy a ticket and then sneak an octopus into the Super Bowl and let it go. Like I shit you not, we didn't do any work that day. We texted about how we could pull this off. My friend placed the bet, and then we looked, I guess I don't know why this wasn't the first thing we looked up, like what an octopus is in football. It was not an octopus, like an actual octopus. It's like if a player scores a touchdown and then the same player scores a 2-point conversion after. So we had just all locked in a bet to sneak in an octopus to the Super Bowl, and all it was the dumbest thing. It was painful. Not wise from us, but
Were you actually going to get an octopus and like bring it in?
They're surprisingly cheap. We found one for like $100. We're like, all right, this is so easy. We could get it at our local aquarium or whatever. We're like, all right, we're going to go do this. And no, it was not an octopus.
You probably could have made a case with FanDuel, whoever had it. Like, there was an octopus.
Yeah. That's what, that's the other thing I hate about their services. They don't have a customer service. So like I couldn't get into the one account, and I've been emailing them, but you can't call them on anything to like have them do anything. So they're full gripe with them.
Justin, any fun betting story for you? Bad loss, bad beat?
No, nothing as crazy as those ones for sure. So
Justin's our smart one. He makes only smart, intelligent bets.
Man, well, we appreciate you guys coming on. If, we kind of just want to leave the end to you guys. Anything you guys want to update us on, update anyone watching on, anything you guys got going on, feel free to just put it out there.
Yeah, so thanks for having us, obviously. We appreciate it. We're trying to get more FaceTime and do kind of things like this with the community a bit more. I think it helps everyone learn a bit more what's going on and kind of do that little transparency, legitimacy thing as well. I guess to anybody out there listening, like we're out there. Follow us at Sports Data Now. Shameless plug, but like we'll DM us and we'll start picking up your bets on your social media account and trying to help you grow. And pretty soon we're transitioning into our website, and so big things there to come. And looking forward to working with everybody in the community.
Yeah, if anybody's ever interested in like an obscure data point or anything they like to see, like when they research their bets, we definitely are looking for like to add to our data set. So like give us a shout. Any data, octopuses, wherever, whatever you want, we can get them.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys too for having us on. I think what you're trying to do here is great. I think it's awesome. And definitely having us on this early is definitely an honor, I think. I think we could all agree on that.
Definitely a pleasure to have you guys on. Love what you guys do. Hopefully we can make some more content down the road here.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Justin. Another episode of Bet Legendz. Happy to have Sports Data Now on. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Yo, YBH.